Hello, my friends, my fish and firefly friends. Wow, I opened right up to fish. Huh. You know how much trouble I have finding things in this book. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so let's see what's going on with you. First of all, with your significators. Fish. Restlessness, change of focus, lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. So it seems you have trouble settling down in any sense of the word. When in balance, adaptable and travels well. When out of balance, distracted, changes mind often. Perhaps some attention difficulties. To bring into balance, set a small goal and accomplish it. Now, the next one is the firefly. And it's really interesting that your two creatures are water and air. Although there are some creatures that do move from water to air, like the dragonfly, as a natural course of its life cycle. These two don't. All right. And the book opened up to firefly too, so things are really moving smoothly today. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, writes, creates, brainstorms. When out of balance, burnt out, feels dull. Or, I suspect, just swims off to new waters. To bring into balance, write a poem or draw. Or whatever makes you feel inspired. Yeah, it seems to me that you are someone who has difficulty focusing and committing, definitely with committing. Because of that, there's a lot of inspiration that you have not been able to do anything with. At least that's what it seems like right now. Now, these cards, of course, the round ones, are to help you decide whether or not this is actually your reading. And the first card out was the Mountain Road, which says that you are, in fact, on the road to success. And then we have the Key, which is the successful resolution of problems. And then we have the Sun, happiness and well-being. We do have Feathers. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. It doesn't really give any indication who that might be. But then we have Kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead. Considering you have the Fish card, I can see why things are unsettled. I suspect you have a dislike of planning ahead. But you also have the Cobweb, so you are protected from negative forces beyond your control. And it came out right on top of this undependable and insincere card. So it's good to be aware of what's going on. And other than this need to plan ahead and perhaps be a little less fishy, there's not really much indication of what you should or should not be doing. So now I am going to ask what the universe would like to say to you. And then I might get to why are you here, but we'll see what this... What does the universe want to say to you? What are you overlooking? What do you need to hear? Anything at all. That came out a couple days ago. That's different. Let me just get these things sorted out here. Or someone who seems to have a bit of a commitment issue. You also seem to really want something. Want to make something visible. Innovation. Teamwork. Interconnected. Perfect timing. So we have a delicate situation. Something fragile, or perhaps frozen. But a desire to break free. Strong emotions. Then we have the moon. Intuition, subconscious, fantasy, romance, psyche. Affection, recognition, invitation, sensuality, artistic, divine, feminine. Okay, I'm moving all these up. Excuse me. All right. So, there is this strong longing here. What the heck was that? Oh, no, that's a different thing. Never mind. So, strong emotion. A desire to put things in action, to integrate them seamlessly, but you think there's a need for perfect timing. Okay, now we have man. You or the person on your mind. Could be a love interest. Then we have inner guidance. Now we have the crow. The crow is interesting. We have memories, remembering, magical power, a new event or happening. Of course, crows are very intelligent, clever, and good problem solvers. A new event or happening. True path. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but it's not to me. All right, maybe it doesn't need to make sense to me. So right now, it's really not. Curve get bent. Okay. So we have time alone. Step by step. Way out. Keep going. Baby steps. More spiritual growth. And alchemy. The mortar and pestle. So transmuting something, one thing, many things, into something different. The Moose, imposing, powerful, independent. Time alone. Cool, calm, and collected. Confident. It says solidarity, but it seems to me more like solitary. Perhaps this time alone is really helping you to grow and change, to find some inner alchemy, breaking things down. Alone time is great for breaking things down. One more. Not yet. One more. Once again, we have destiny. Destiny and spirituality. So, well, so your first round of cards talked a lot about success of some sort. It was a little vague about what kinds of success. Just overcoming problems, I think. Sorry about that. And having to plan for something new. Right here. Unsettled times, need to plan ahead. So I think there's been some big changes for you. You have you have two cards here about something good happening. We have Clover, which is luck, happy coincidence, unexpected rendezvous, a fling. I think as the fish, you're pretty good at flings. Good fortune, carefree, a reward, flirt, short-lived. That may not be so good. Do you really want something short-lived? Maybe you do. Or maybe that's a reference to the firefly aspect of what's going on in your life. But then we have stars, the star card. Wishes do come true. Peace, miracles. I think this moose has been given you the opportunity to find some inner peace, but also you have hopeful, falling in love, nighttime. Again, inspiration. And then destiny, spirituality, divine guidance. Also sorrow, emotional loss, trials. Necessity, conviction, duty, crisis, fate. You may feel that fate is very strongly active in your life right now. Hopefully, well, I think your sense of inner guidance, direction, your inner knowing, I think it comes and goes, flicks on and off like the firefly. All right. So that's still kind of where you're at. I'm not sure I'm seeing any real, other than perhaps this alchemy card and this one, which is about small steps, I believe. Baby steps, yes. Progress, spiritual growth, more with the spiritual growth. So plenty of cards, references to spiritual growth. There may be this desire here to break free. Seems like some really strong desires, but we keep getting baby steps. This is interesting. So the King of Wands has been showing up a lot lately, but it's been showing up in reverse. And now here we have it in a crossing position. So not quite reverse, not quite upright. Still those urges there. to be very self-centered, arrogant, domineering, intolerant, indifferent to others' wants, desires, needs. But maybe it's being moderated a bit. Let's see what we've got here. 8 of Cups in reverse. Huh, that's interesting. So 8 of Cups in the upright is about walking away, saying, okay, that's it. I've had it, enough, no more. And leaving. And you have the Chariot next to the 8 of Cups. So it's funny, that looks like a firefly to me on this 8 of Cups too. And that's, I believe, Lady's Mantle. An herb. I think it's supposed to be especially good for women. I'm not an herbalist, so I don't really know for sure. Anyway, the Chariot, of course, is a card of action, fast action. Huh. Now we have the 5 of Pentacles, also in reverse. That's one card you want in reverse. So the King of Wands, well, all of the court cards are not, they're not bad cards. They do have negative aspects to them, all of them. They can be positive or negative. It's like you want to be in balance. If too much of any one trait can get out of balance and cause harm. And so you need the balancing of that trait in some fashion. So the King of Wands is good at being seen and heard, and a good leader, and brave, courageous. The problem is when they become too indifferent to others and just want everything their own way. The 8 of Cups in reverse, that's... Oh, wait a minute. I missed a card. Again, solo, isolation, separation, independent. That goes right on top of the moose. So you got 2 cards about that. Being solo, separated, isolation. The fish is probably good at that, whether they mean to be or not, because they just don't stand still long enough to form lasting relationships, connections. Okay, so back to this 8 of Cups. Sorry, I'm a little lost here. So are you hanging on to stuff that you need to let go of? Do you need to close the door on a chapter on some really toxic conditions or people in your life? Just close the door and walk away. Or possibly you are returning or someone else is returning to you. And it could be happening quickly. And it may be that there is a real change in attitude here from a lack mentality, scarcity mindset, into something else, into something much more positive. I'd like some clarification on the 8 of Cups. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. So Scrooge McDuck. Maybe that's what you're walking away from, understandably. Ace of Wands, inspiration, perhaps divine inspiration. Certainly a turn towards a more fun-loving, happy kind of life. Perhaps you're turning away from this King of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. You have two aces here. So this Ace of Pentacles is a crossing influence, so you'd really like to follow your heart, follow your inspiration, but you feel constrained maybe by a lack of resources, the need to make a new start financially perhaps. All right, tell me about the Lovers. The Lovers crossed by the Four of Wands, so your community is very unsupportive of what you feel is a connection, a lover's connection. You have the High Priestess here. Which is frequently described as the spiritually connected version of the feminine. Okay, there's definitely money issues here. What else about this Lovers card? Cards keep doing flips in the air and then landing back face down, which means I can't take them. Of course, they're even landing in the deck, so I don't take them unless they come out of the deck. Ten of Wands, Ten of Wands. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. So there is an established situation. They're both right on top of the community card. This is family, long-term friendships. You know, the people that have been around you since childhood, the connections, relationships that have been a part of your life since childhood. And there seems to be some conflict here with them. Since the Four of Wands is in the crossing position, you have the Ten of Pentacles in the upright, so maybe you feel, really positive about it. But you also have the Ten of Wands, so you feel burdened by it. The High Priestess can also be about divine guidance, about receiving divine guidance, being receptive to divine guidance, being initiated into the mysteries, and not talking about it. It's really interesting considering all this slipperiness up here with the fish and the firefly. So as the fish, you're not good at relationships, long-lasting ones. You just keep moving on. Bit of a player, kind of. And then the firefly is about an inability to hold on to the flashes of inspiration that keep coming your way. I'm not sure if this is you developing a new side of yourself, but it seems very out of alignment with this Ten of Pentacles and this Ten of Wands, especially sitting on the Four of Wands in a crossing position, and also on top of this Lover's card. So this Lover's connection, if there is one, seems very burdened. It can also be a need, the Lover's card can also indicate a need to level up. Well, the Queen of Cups came out on top of the High Priestess. So, we have a Queen of Cups crossing the High Priestess. So this could be a female person, or just someone who has the characteristics of a Queen of Cups. Probably in the reverse, someone who is manipulative, emotional blackmail is coming to mind. You certainly don't need to be female or male for that. Oh yeah, and the status quo, which lines up with the Four of Wands and in a crossing position with this Ten of Wands and Ten of Pentacles. I'm not sure. I think this... Then we have this Page of Swords, someone who really needs to do some learning and has not done so. Perhaps is yearning for the life of the carefree fish. Rather than doing their lessons. Okay, well. So, I'm not big on when other people show up in a reading, because you don't have any control over what other people do or don't do. And you have to lead your life. You can't lead their lives, and you can choose to let them control you. The results probably won't be very good, but you can do that. It's your life. You can choose that. I find it interesting that we have the Scholar's card here, this Page of Swords. This is the card of learning about things. Maybe learning about the High Priestess, becoming the High Priestess, developing that aspect of yourself, which is perfectly reasonable regardless of gender. Anybody can be a recipient of divine guidance. There's been a lot of cards here about spirituality, divine guidance, the inner guide. A lot about desires, but I am not seeing... There has been, there's the alchemy card here, which is good. And the spending some time alone cards, two of them. But we have unsettled times, need to plan ahead. I don't think anything is settled for you. I think that's basically what's going on here. All right, I think we're going to finish this off with a herbarium card. I'm pretty sure that's not the name, but I'm going to call it that anyway. Exuberant quietude. Oh, that's interesting. Passion flower. Exuberant quietude. That's quite the contradiction there. Passion flower. I don't know if you've ever, or if you're familiar with what they look like, but they're very beautiful flowers. Unusual. Exuberant quietude. Passion flower is a study in opposites. She climbs vigorously, some say invasively, sending exploring fingers through fence slats and wall crevices. What's over there, she wonders, always trying to get to the other side, to expand beyond her current boundaries. Even her flower exudes frenetic energy, vibrantly bursting out into the world. Every inch of passion flower is reaching, striving, and climbing, and yet her medicine is the magical calm that happens when the television, computer, and phone are all suddenly quiet. She begs you to pause in your questing and take the time for a new experience, inner quietude. Why? Because being able to be quiet and still is passion flower's secret to exuberant expansion without stress or burnout. Honestly, I think turning off all your electronics for a little while every day, before you go to bed preferably, because that will help you sleep, is an excellent idea. So I will leave it there. I hope you do turn off your electronics for an hour or two before bed. That's the only concrete recommendation here. Maybe just maybe that will help you with learning whatever it is you need to learn. But yes, there you go. I am wishing you all the best. I hope that made sense to you. It did not make much sense to me, but that's okay. It's not my reading. Wishing you all the best. Have a wonderful day.